Hello everyone, I'm Sharon from Bengal Rose Healing and Quantum Trance Healing, and I work with celestials, and I do trance and teach spiritualism, trance, and light worker channeling, which is mediumship. I haven't really ever used my platform for political I know it's not interference, is it? My political feelings. But I've come to a point now where I feel it's time that we use our free speech and we try to change this world in whatever way we can. I've even started to cross my mind of sitting on the corner of my street with a placard with peace and just sit there for a day with a flask. The trouble is I would need to go and use the loo every now and again, but I'd have a little break and just start going out there and helping other people to speak out and use their communication, use our voice to say we're not happy with this world anymore. And, first of all, there's the pollution, which is destroying our earth. There's so much science but even still there's dictator political leaders in the world that do not acknowledge this. There's so much rubbish still being poured into the seas. We're losing animals. We've got extinction lists growing. We've got plant life getting extinct now, which has gone on for quite a while. So there's that side of things. There's the famine. There's the change of humans shifting because their areas are becoming flooded and can't live, or they're barren. They're not getting any rain, and it is a natural way for Earth to shift anyway over thousands and thousands of years. But what we've done as a human race has accelerated it, especially in the last 100 and 150 years. The ozone layer has got a bit healthier apparently, so there's signs, but it's not enough yet to say it is safe. And then we move on to the political side of our world, the dictators, the wars, people being killed, not safe in their homes, soldiers dying, dictators, Putin. So, there's a lot of history behind his thoughts in this, and there's, if you look back to pre-World War, where the lands were owned by Russia, and then through war they were split and agreements were made. And he's trying now to get back what he thinks is his lands, not really caring about the lives he destroys, the people in those countries, the Russians he's killing through it, the Ukrainians, and anybody else involved in the political side of it, and how it hits the world on the human side and the money side of it. And then you've now got Trump. He's been in power for a year. He's devastating his country. He's causing havoc in the world. He's a danger. To me, he looks sick in the brain. I would say he needs to be sectioned, and he is scary. And this is a man that can have his finger on the button anytime, like Putin. And you just think, oh my God, this, and people are letting him behave like that. Everybody's living in fear of him. The people around him, I cannot believe that they think what he's doing is correct. There doesn't seem to be any plan. It's completely random. He's threatening. He's trying to use. It reminds me of a little boy with his toys, and he's not quite sure where to place them all. And then he goes like that, and then he rebuilds it back up and tries to rebuild the relationship, and he does it all again. And this all can be in hours, not days. And you can't have somebody like that in one of the most powerful countries in the world, and he thinks he's the power. So he has to step aside, or somebody has to legally remove him through the courts or through, and there's just so much fear based around it. And then there's things that are coming off that he's putting in place, and one of them is these men, I don't know if it's women as well, as ICE, going round searching, terrorising people who are supposed to be immigrants or illegal immigrants, staying outside schools. We've now, and this isn't just in the This isn't just in the Minneapolis and say Chicago. This is all around. I've got a friend in California, and it's happening there. It's this place is it's happening all through America. They're hitting the major cities, and they're just literally dragging people off. It doesn't matter where. They can be out of a. I've heard of I think it was a nursery somebody told me about. Kids, and it could be minors as well as adults. And we're going back now to, if we look at the history of the Second World War, this is what Hitler was doing. He got his little soldiers out there. What they called I can't remember. It began with S, Scarpos or something, and they used to go off and do this sort of work. So, but now they're called ICE, and I can't imagine the conscience of these men, these humans that have been put in place on earth to carry this out. They're there for this catalyst event that's happening from the spiritual side of it. And it's time to speak out. And this is January the 26th, 2026. And I feel like the numbers mean something today, 2626. So I have to look that up spiritually. And if you think what's going on out in the world and what even me putting this out here, I've actually questioned myself doing it this morning because I'm in fear somebody might come and drag me off of my doorstep, and I live in the UK, because I'm speaking out against two of the big leaders in the world. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are thinking and not doing anything. So if you watch this and you agree with what I'm saying, share it out. Share or speak out yourself. Put your own video out. Put your own thoughts out. If you've got people, people that think Trump's wonderful, well, don't be afraid of that. At the end of the day, you've got to stick with your guns. You know it's not right. Go for peace. Our own country's not amazing. You can already see the media trying to take down Starmer, who's our UK leader, our so-called Prime Minister. They inherited 14 years of shit from the Conservatives, so they're trying to put it right, but they've made all these promises and just breaking them, and everybody's already lost faith in the Labour Party. And there's no party out there who is truthful and worthful of running our country. We've got like Conservatives, Liberal, Reform. Reform are trying their best, and and they're a little bit slimy the way they're doing it. And I don't trust any political party in this country. And the only one I can see it would do any good is Greenpeace, because of the earth and the environment. But we need more than just that. We need really good, solid political leaders who are honest. And some of the things we see the Labour Party come out with, they're just lying to us, and they're treating us like we're idiots. And they're sitting up in their little ivory towers and not knowing what everyday life is like out there in the UK. And you see that in other countries as well. I'm sure it's the same with all political leaders. So, things have to start changing all around the world. And I wrote a book called New Earth, and it might be worth you reading it. It's on Amazon. You look up Sharon Milne Barber and all my books come up, and that actually tells you what's going to happen over the next up to 200 years into the future. And it's been channeled from my guides, and it is quite amazing. This all that's happening now is supposed to be happening, but the way we get through it is for humanity to speak out and be the change. And it's a form of ascension. It's a form of us growing and not being fearful. I don't want to be fearful. I don't want my children growing up in this world like this, and especially not my grandchildren and their next generation. It's it's really got to change. It will change. I know it's going to change, and it's going to change because people like me grow some balls and start speaking out. And I'm going to do it a lot more because I've really had enough. And if people on my platform, wherever I've got my social media, don't like what I'm doing, they can just press the button and get rid of me. It's as easy as that, isn't it? With social media, unfortunately, we can't press. It's not good to go around pressing buttons, literally getting rid of people. But so I think Trump needs to go. He's definitely mentally off his head. He needs to have some treatment. I imagine it's his age. I know physically there's something going on with him because my guides have told me. He definitely should be sectioned and made safe out of the political arena. That means just removing him in a political way. But he does need treatment. And Putin, don't know a lot about that man. I don't see, there's a lot of fear around him. That's how he stays in power. And he blindsides the Russians into believing that he's right. But there are, again, many Russians amongst that community who don't agree with what they're doing. They live silently in that fear and live their lives like that. That's no way for humans to live, is it? None of us should live like that. I think in this country, we can speak out and put videos and things like this out. But, at the end of the day, even we have a bit of fear about that. And, somebody, I know I'm watched. Anybody who does my type of work is being watched by the governments, because we're talking to celestial beings through trance and getting evidence and information from them. And anybody like me or anybody who's putting out political stuff, they pick up on certain words and they look to see, they'll watch the, the way the phones and technology is working now. You can mention garden sheds and all of a sudden you've got a whole load of garden sheds appearing on your feeds. It's just crazy, isn't it? And I won't have my Alexa on because I know I've had friends on and we talk about celestial beings and stuff, and I've actually watched that Alexa. It's been dormant, sitting there, and I've not touched it. We watch it and suddenly it goes green, and we know that it's listening, and we laugh, and I unplug it now. So anything like that, any devices. So we are actually being, we have actually in our homes bugs through our electronic devices. So as well as on the streets, they know within our homes what we're doing as well. So there's no secrets out there unless you go off grid. That's the only way. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you. And I actually dreamt last night about going off grid, so I wonder if they were trying to tell me something. I have to laugh about that. I'll just tell my husband about it because we went off grid and he shaved his head. And I said to him, oh, you want to get a tattoo on that? And we've been watching tattoo programs. And it was all about living off grid, away from everything. So this must be my subconscious thinking, escape. Anyway, I'm going to leave my personal perspective of thoughts with you. If you wish to share it, please do. And I hope you have an amazing day. And speak your voice, communicate. That's how humanity is going to survive. Bye.